There has been a growing call for caution on what has been termed debt trap diplomacy, with African nations getting warned mostly by Western leaders on the perils of taking on too much cheap Chinese debt, while critics have also warned about Beijing's debt relief or repayment processes in developing countries. To this effect, the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, in a one-day conference, addressed an X-ray the problems and prospects of the Belt and Road Initiative in Africa. As concerns grow, the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) has faced scrutiny in countries involved, hence the need to clear the air on the project.
That's what we hear much more recently, the debt trap issue. Like I said in my presentation, it's only one country that has happened to. And because, you see, you cannot collect money for whatever infrastructure you're going to use that money for whatever purpose. It should be something that is productive, and so you can pay back. But you see, many countries will collect. Again, I want you to understand this clearly. China does not come and just tell you this is what we're going to give. You negotiate. Most times, those infrastructure it's contract based. It's percentage based. China will bring 70%, you bring 30%. But many of those negotiations or agreement entered, the recipient countries don't pay their 30%. Now the companies they building these infrastructures will have to look for money from China Exim Bank and now use the money to and now complete this infrastructure. Now in that situation, what do you do?
It has been said that it is a win-win situation for all countries involved in a Belt and Road Initiative. But with currency swap deals and current allegation by US as being a currency manipulator, questions like if the initiative is another way of extending political influence, especially when Africa is an afterthought in the Belt and Road Initiative, comes to the fore.
So the Belt and Road Initiative does not only engage Nigeria, but engages the entire global system because it seeks to cover Central Asia, it seeks to cover Southeast Asia, it seeks to cover Europe, South America, it seeks to cover Africa and even, Oceania, or Eurasia, so to say, and the Pacific. So you can see it is a global initiative which has never occurred before, to the global system. But the important thing that we need to consider in this particular whole project is the honesty and sincerity of China, because it has actually defined its principles in engaging with the world, along the Silk Road, the 21st century maritime Silk Road, as well as the Silk Road economic belt.
Looking at what the initiative holds for a country like Nigeria, Nigeria has no streamlined organized mass transit system nationwide, and its rail infrastructure is mostly dilapidated, having been built by British colonialists more than a century ago. No doubt, infrastructure development is rather slow on the continent. The BRI intends to be the game changer.
Africa and Nigeria have been incapacitated already by historical fact and event that unfolded prior to this particular time. So Africa is no longer capable presently to actually project that developmental infrastructure which is needed for that particular development. So we need to partner. Partnership and cooperation, is not undesirable, within the global system. Even China, they invited Ukrainian engineers, European investors to first come to China. They went into partnership. That was how China started. So I think there is no evil when Africa and Nigeria start with the partnership and cooperating with China. So what China is building in Africa is the bedrock.
There is also the need to have astute investment policies to underpin Africa's foreign relations, as Africa policy of engagement with world powers seem to be lagging behind.
Investment treaties, just like contracts, if you want to invest, you have to enter into an agreement with the other party, and that is what investment treaties are made for. So all the projects under the Belt and Road will have to be entered into in the form of investment treaties, and we have a lot of that constructions, transactions in oil and gas, real estate, infrastructure development, even management contracts. All these are examples of investment treaties that exist. Now, investment treaties are important because they provide protection for the investor.
However, the success of the Belt and Road Initiative in Nigeria or Africa will depend on the political will from African leaders to abide by the rules of engagement. Elizabeth Williams, Lovewood News.